less. Like, Roman Reigns is absolutely second rate now. Like, when you've got Goldberg doing the Impact moves, it's not going to sit well now. I mean, Roman Reigns, who had a physical encounter at WrestleMania years ago with Brock against Goldberg, is just there's no competition, is there? I just really don't like the idea that after all this time, someone's just come in. It just doesn't sit well with the credibility of WWE for me. Matt, is there anything that you can add to it, shed any light, or is there any positives whatsoever coming out of this, and what do they do with Brock going forward if it's not Goldberg?
It's definitely one of those things where I'm feeling now like I'm in the dark. I feel completely alienated from the WWE on this decision. It's one of the few times when I've sort of sat there and I thought I really can't see the future of this because it's just so puzzling. Goldberg is of such an age where it's not really practical, He's the same kind of age as Undertaker, and they work Undertaker on such an incredibly light schedule. And I don't really see Goldberg taking this further. And like you said with Roman, I'm sure some people didn't want to see him get that far, but that is another huge disappointment because he was a possibility to make a huge star, and regarded they tried to force him on people too soon, and people don't like what he is, but still, there's been huge superstars made out of people that people didn't like. Yeah. It didn't really make a difference on those terms. But, even that possibility has gone from other people now as well. People were looking at people like Cass thinking, keep Goldberg undefeated for another year. What's the difference? Maybe Cass will come up. No such doing there. The only thing I can hope now is that a huge heel will rise. Bring up Samoa Joe, have him choke out Goldberg. That's what I want to see.
I just feel like everything with Brock. I mean, Matt, on a side note about Brock, we know his contract's coming up. Do you think this is a way of WWE saying we're not you're not going to have the power on that next negotiation? You're not going to hold all the cards, because last time he did hold all the cards. He had the streak. He had everything. He had the belt even at the time. Do you think this is a way of WWE sort of this is a side note and it might be out there a little bit, but I've got to think that this might have been a bit of a play by WWE to say, hang on a minute, all our eggs are not in one basket anymore, and we've got another guy now. So whatever contract we do negotiate with you, it's not going to be in the region that it has been. Do you seek that happening? And is it Vince looking at maybe, he kind of went off to UFC, even though he had their blessing. Maybe there was a little bit of an issue there. I don't know, but is there anything to be read into that, Matt?
Well, it's a nice little coincidence, isn't it, that Goldberg makes his reappearance, gets that win, takes that streak away, and also that Undertaker sort of comes back and says, he's not here for WrestleMania, he's here for a bit more. Funny little things like that occurring, and it does shift the balance of power a little bit, because if Brock was the only big draw in town, that may be something, but when you look at a Royal Rumble spot and they say, well, you know what, Brock, it could be you versus Goldberg, or it could be Undertaker versus Goldberg, what do you want to say about that? That does kind of take a little bit of the power away.
It's one of those things. I mean, I suppose we've got to sum this bloody thing up. It's abysmal to give this any rating, quite frankly. It's a feel-good moment. I mean, it is a good moment. I'm not going to doubt that, but it's a good moment for about if you're in the crowd, but then a lot of people are left scratching their head afterwards. Like the aftermath of it could be a ripple effect, quite damaging stuff here. I've never seen this happen before. I will say that. I'm going to make a huge point of that and say I've never seen WWE's most protected. It would be like having Hulk Hogan back in the 80s, and they bring in somebody like Bob Backlund from the era before, and have him just win in 2 minutes, and so everything that Hogan had was obliterated basically. I mean, that is the sort of momentum that Brock had going into this, and especially in an era where they cannot get people over. Brock was over. Whether he was a heel or not, he was definitely over. I do think, it's not the end of Brock Lesnar, in no means at all, but it's, I just felt it would have been better. I would have even preferred, Matt, if they'd have given this to Randy Orton At least he's full time. I mean, at least he's around. He's been there for a while, and I could buy that. He's a much younger guy. I mean, but Goldberg, nah, I just can't. I just cannot fathom out that one whatsoever. I just really don't get the idea. And even if they do go for a third match, it's still 2-1. So what, are we going to go for another 3? I mean, what? How long is this going to go on for? You know, how many more Goldberg Lesnar catastrophes are we going to have? So, giving this one a sum up is difficult, Matt, because you get that great feeling and it's fast, it's shocking, but I don't know what. I don't know what I'd give this. I did not write anything down for it, quite frankly. It's very difficult to score, but as a match goes, I'm probably going to have to go and give it a very 1. That's what I'm going to give it. There you go. And that's being generous. Matt, what do you give that?
Well, you know, I find it really hard to score a match under 3 minutes. You know, I've not got a lot of material to work off of here. I don't even know if Goldberg has the stamina to go 5 minutes after this. I've got to go the same. You know, 1, I think, because I don't even know what Goldberg's got. For all we know, it's a really huge bluff, and Goldberg's completely spent, and we don't even know he can't even wrestle like over 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's just like the Goldberg in the '98, wasn't it? That's all he was doing. WWE have certainly learned their lesson. Don't put Goldberg in 20-minute matches. And people, if you go back and look at the running, what was it, 2003 when he was in? You'll see him struggling in a lot of those 20-minute matches with Jericho and Triple H. Like, he struggles to do those long matches. He's much better as just an out-and-out WCW performer, which is come in, get the spots in, and sort of go out. But I just feel in this instance, I mean, this is what I would have. You would have likely have seen Brock Lesnar win it that quick, and then I don't think people would have expected much more than that. Even I mean, I think that would have. I mean, it would have been absolute rubbish still, by the way. But it's that kind of thing where you would have expected that from Brock, not Goldberg, to win that fast, you know, being the sort of guy that he is and that momentum. But yeah, like Matt said, you made a good point, Matt, about the amount of tombstones it took, and he still kicked out. Cena's FUs, all of this stuff, you know, it makes everybody else look completely rubbish on that roster. That's what I don't like. It's not so much Brock, it's all his past opponents that basically get let down now. And Goldberg is like in another universe. No fun intended there. So yeah, Matt, can you score that at all, or is that is unscorable?
Yeah, no, like you said, it has to be a 1 because there's nothing to score. You know, we've got nothing to work with here.
You're not going to give it a 5 on pure. You were so happy and shocked in a great way, and what a magnificent moment it was. I was shocked, but I was more shocked about like who made this decision. I was like, is this Vince? Is this him finally telling us like he's completely gone like cuckoo? Yeah. Is he like lost it now? Was everyone begging him backstage saying, please don't do this? And he was like, damn it, I'm doing it. Fire him. Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out because this shows you how opinions are different. Because Liam Heavy G, who was on my podcast a while ago, he co-hosted it a few times. Now he actually said this was good booking, so I might have to get him on at one time to explain that. But he might have a lot of people against him. But I'm always up for you know, all other opinions. I'm always for them. It's good to have a bit of a debate. I'm interested to see the reasoning behind that. And at the same time, my other buddy who's also co-hosted at the very early stages, Tom, he actually did not agree with it. He was much more in the sort of line of where we're at. But yeah, it's interesting to see how people have taken this. Matt, have you heard any different, your sort of reaction around this circle that you've seen that have seen this as a very positive light, or has this been a confused one?
No, just the people that I've spoken to were pretty shocked and pretty disappointed. You know, you get to a certain level of expectancy with Brock, where you expect to see something dominant and something brutal. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong that he's going to lose someday, because that would be great. I just always thought the opponent that he would lose to would benefit greatly from this. But Goldberg is already known as a destroyer and as like a previous generation conqueror. You know, it was never under any question that Goldberg had this kind of huge following and momentum anyway. I just thought someone else could use a little bit of that win, you know, and it would propel them rather than sort of like drag someone back from the past to the top.
Sure. Well, Raw tonight, from what I'm hearing about the reports, Matt, Brock Lesnar is not scheduled to be on there, so might say I'm
disappointing.
Yeah, whether Heyman is, who knows. But Goldberg is set to appear, so I think you can probably tell the way they're going to go with that coming up. But we'll see. So you know, we've been on the show for a while, but I will take some questions. So we've had some come in whilst we've been on live tonight. It seems to most people have left sort of one-word answers, but let's take a question from Bill here. Who? Hi guys, first time emailing you guys. Love this podcast. Been listening to old ones. Really good stuff. NXT takeovers seem more like an important show than the WWE ones. Your thoughts? Well, I did make a quick reference to that earlier. I feel like sometimes the WWE ones, whether it's because they are all on the network now, and maybe there's not much as the emphasis on sort of like the pay-per-view buy rates anymore. Maybe that they are just sort of shows that cross over to one another. But it doesn't ever feel like we get as much conclusion anymore, Matt, on these pay-per-views. Like, it does seem a rolling storyline all the time and bits and pieces. What do you think about that? And the idea that NXT seems to be doing pay-per-views, you know, maybe a little bit better how they used to be, with a bit more importance behind them.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a feeling that there's a little degree of one-upsmanship when the pay-per-views of NXT are on compared to the ones that are on the main kind of shows.
Yeah.
I often watch the NXT ones, and like we saw with Bobby Roode and Nakamura's entrances, I always do feel now like, well, they're giving this to us a little bit too soon. They could save this for when they make their jump to the main roster, and it will hit a bigger audience. Like, we wouldn't have seen these entrances before, and it would feel a little bit more special rather than being underwhelmed like we were slightly with Finn Balor. So, you know, sometimes I do feel like that. I just wonder if it's like some backstage kind of politics going on there, and like there's some vendetta there, like saying, well, I can do this a little bit better, and I'm going to prove to you. Maybe there is some of that, but also I think it's also investment from the fans into the NXT kind of pay-per-views, because we like to see the development of new superstars rather than the stuff we see on the main card is already established superstars. We know all their backstories, and we're kind of judging them on that.
Yeah, totally. No, I totally agree. And also, the amount of bloody pay-per-views there are doesn't help in WWE. I think there's too many. I think there's way too many. I think, again, Matt, I only thought we had one in December. There's two. Flipping hell, and I might even have to rethink how we do these, because I think it's even too much for us to be doing. I don't know how much people are enjoying all these pay-per-views, but we might have to start summarising this stuff, because there's so much coming all the time, and I think they're overdoing it, quite frankly. But there you go.
It sounds like you need to split the podcast into like two brands.
Yeah, that's what will happen. I'll be on one, you'll be on the other. We'll have our own little team. Then we'll do a rivalry match. We'll have bragging rights. Who gets Jimbo or something. And speaking of Jimbo, he's on now. Jimbo, wrestler squad number 9, the regular listener. Jimbo, I got your reply, by the way, and listen, I'm gonna bring that question up next week when we're gonna have a bit more time to talk about it, because he brought back the thing, Matt, of us declaring our answers on his wrestlers that he wanted to choose. But
we have our reasons.
Jimbo has emailed in about last night, and Jimbo says, "What a pile of dog beep! Seriously, Goldberg, are you kidding me? I give up. I'm taking a month out. Don't expect to hear me for a while." So there you go, Jimbo. He's had enough, Jimbo. But tune in next week, Jimbo. Just one more if you can, because I'll answer your questions. So just for me, don't watch WWE if it's making you feel that bad. But watch some other wrestling. Stick with NXT, or go even with Ring of Honor. Something else if it's frustrating you that much. But that's Jimbo's sum up on it. Now we've got Tommy, who says, "What the beep did I see? Someone please wake me up and tell me this never happened. How can WWE seriously think this is going to work? WWE seems to be getting worse and worse, and they have a WWE